Good morning. You are welcome. This is Reverend Simon and Samantha and Pastor Grace and Samantha and me and you family life. We are so glad to be alive, thanking God for the things that God have done in your life and in my life and collectively in all over the world. Things that God is doing. We just appreciate Him and thank Him for the gift of life. Well, with me, I said my girlfriend. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How do you
Good
do?
morning, you are fine.
How is everything?
Very well.
Well,
I'm
thank God
okay.
for life. We are so excited to come to share thought with you. Now, if you remember, in our last edition, we started talking about parental role. Well, the parental role, it had to do with what are the role you play in the life of shaping your children, because parenting is a strong responsibility. And like I was sharing with some people, I said, if you know you are not ready, don't start. It had to do with a lot of things. Parenting responsibility is a very great task. But I find out that God have enabled every one of us, depends on the level of information, commitment, and what you have in mind. You are welcome. And I believe this edition is going to be a blessing to you as we continue from where we stopped last week. Hello.
Thank you, our viewers. And just as my husband has said, parenting is not an easy task
Mm.
because you can be good as a man, as a woman, both of you get married, but the seed of your marriage is what will stand the test of time of maintaining the name of the family and be able to bring glory to God. And that's why it's very important that as parents, we have to train our children in the right path, in a godly way, so that by the time they old, they will not depart. What we are seeing today, a lot of issues happening today, is as a result of those children are from homes. They are from home. But it all depends what was the guidance that were given to them, what was the training that was given to them. Why did they have to go out of their way, start doing what they are not supposed to? So me and you is all about, you know, talking about the parental role of raising godly seed.
Hmm.
Children that will be able to stand and be able to stand in the gates of the enemy and fight this battle. We say our children should stand in the gates of the enemy to be able to fight for us. And so, the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 6 verse, it says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. So what are the training you are giving to your children as parents? So we started those parental role last week, and then we'll continue from there. One of the roles that you have to do as a parent, teach them not to take things from strangers without your permission. If you don't, your child may become a glutton who will never be satisfied with what you give him or her. As a result, always make an effort to remain kids, not to take always remind kids not to take presents for strangers or eat food provided to them without first bringing it home or informing you. Somebody might look at it and say, "Ah, it doesn't matter," but you do, because it's part of training. That so most of the things that we have to, it has to start from training of a child actually start from home. Schooling a child start from home. So you discover that when you teach your child how to always want take permission from you before collecting things, it make that child to grow up and become responsible, not just doing anything they like. But today we see people collecting things from stranger, and at the end they find themselves where they are not supposed to be. At the end, some of them they be caught unaware. Some of them have even meet their early death just because of collecting things from stranger. So you have to, so they will learn that mommy and daddy does not like this. It is not maybe when they are grown up or they want to get married, don't do this. Don't, no, you start the training from home. Start telling them what to do. And in so doing, you see the child will always fall back to mommy said this, daddy said this. But today, and that's what we are seeing, that is, going out of the society, that children just do whatever they like without, having a feeling of the mother or the father. I remember in those days when my mother would say, "I will tell daddy for you." You see, there's a kind of fear that will come upon you, because why? You know that daddy will not take it lightly. So it is very important that as parents, let's teach them not to collect things from people. But today you even see some parents say, he's a child. You know, he's a child. Child will be crying because you didn't give the child. The child will be crying, be rolling on the floor. And then you see a parent will come and say, what is this? It's not a child, just give. You have to be able to train your child in the proper way. When you train your child in the proper way, the child will grow with it. There are some things now that I cannot do. I'm an adult, but because of that training that our parents give to us, you just know, I can't be able to do this. So it's very important that parents should put their children in the right path. So at the end, they will also enjoy in their old age. You know, the other time I was talking about Eli, how at the end, yes, he told the children, but you see, along the way, they deviate from, you know, from the way of God, collecting sacrifice that were being bringing to the house of God that was not given to them. And what happened? That is what led to their early grave. So it's very important that we teach our children the right thing. When you teach them the right values and then the right moral, that child will grow with it, and at the end, it will bring peace to you in your old age.
Yeah, it's a very important thing that a child will always grow with what he has been taught. You know, last week when I was talking about my wife used to eat my meat and all of those stuff. Yes, you know, like I said, it was from childhood, and even where we married, that was where we stopped last week. Where we married, you still find it that it's very difficult for her to change. Although after 25 years, like we said last week, she's trying to change, but I'm trying to do my own part so that she can change. You know, that's it. But on a more serious note, it's very important for you to know that whatever you train a child with, that's what the child becomes. I remember in the book of Jeremiah, when you talked about the children of Rechobot, I remember God sent Jeremiah to go to that house and to tell those children that they should take wine. And the children came back and said, our father have said. So the things you put into the life of your children is very important, because that is what the child will grow up with. And once that child grew up like that, it is very, very difficult for you to change a child that have been grown with a pattern. And at old age, the only thing that will happen to that child at old age is that if you try to change him at old age, that child will break. He cannot bend. So it's very important as a father, teach your children, inculcate values into their life that you know. You know, the reason why God trusts us with children, because we were once children. And we know the danger of neglecting what our parents have told us, because that child will not go far. So it's a very good thing that as husband and wife, it's not enough to just bring these children into this life. You teach them what they should not take things from stranger. Who is a stranger? A stranger is somebody that you know but you don't know. You just see the person. A stranger can be a neighbor. You don't really know that person. So teach them, because there are so many things that is happening in our world today. What you're able to teach your children is what will preserve them. It's what will secure them. It's what will help them. It's what they will remember. I remember I was talking to one of my sons. He was saying that when I remember the things that you have told us, it made me to be very committed and serious in whatever I am doing. So it's very important. What the value you put into your children is what will preserve and secure their life no matter where they find themselves. And God told us that we should be the one to direct our children so that their future, in future, both you and the children will rest. My wife mentioned about Eli. You remember Eli? That Eli wouldn't have died, but it was the activity of those children, the things that they did, that now, not only that, you know, that thing did not only, he stopped, and he affected generation next. He affected generation next, and he affected the father also. It was the bad news that the father heard, that the two children have died, and the minute the father heard it, he fell backward and break his neck. And I want to quickly pray for you. Your children will not break your neck.
Amen.
He break his neck, and the one of the girls that he pregnated, one of the girl who is pregnant, having a child, and while he heard it, she entered into forced labor, and she now named the child Ichabod. The glory have departed. Listen to me. The glory of your family will not depart.
Amen.
But that glory that have been imparted will stay. But if you don't train them what to do, the glory can depart. That shame will not come and stay in your family. That will not be your portion. So it's very important when a child tell them not to take things from stranger, because those things, and even accept stranger, You know, there's a way you can help stranger, but allowing taking things from people have a great way of destroying children. So just tell them, because when they are old, they now know how to judge between good and bad and know what to do. So discipline is very important.
Yeah, because people take advantage of that for the fact that, oh, he keep giving to the child. And the day you want to, maybe, because all minds are not the same. The word of God says, the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know it? You discover that because that child has been collecting something from that child, when the boy will want to collect from the child, want to do something, the child will be very free. You know, children like, you know, gifts and all that. But it's very important when you're not sure. Like an incident that happened 2 days ago. A man came into the school, one of the parents, and then I saw, as I was just walking out from my office, I saw him with a plan. So I was wondering, why will he come at that hour? So, and after exchanging greetings, and I said, so he carried something, he said he wants to give to his child. That he bought something, a juice he bought, and he wants to give to a child. I said, okay, why not give it to me? Let's take it to, go and give it to a child. She said no. He said because the child will not accept it from me. If the child did not see him, and since he didn't bring it from the house, if the child did not see him, the child will never accept it. You can see, but you see the relationship with me and that child, being in a school, the child is seeing me. If the father can say that, it's because of what he has inculcated into the child. So we have to send somebody, you know, to go to the class, bring the child out, and hand over the thing directly to the child. You see, it's because of what you have taught the child. And there are some children like that, you give them something, they will never take it. Some will not collect it, and some, even when they collect it, they must take it back home. Why you see some children, before the thing gets to their hand, the thing is already in their mouth. So it's very important that we teach our children some of all these things to be able to help us. Even if it has to do with your relation, teach them. When you teach them, the child will always want to come back to mommy, and that it will make you to know what is happening around your case. And then the other thing we want to look at as a parent, to mind the way they talk. Some children talk too much. In fact, all you have to do is ask a question and they will tell you everything that is going on at home. Please make sure you tell your children not to tell strangers about what goes on at home. Teach them to control their tongues from early age. It's very important. Sometimes you discover that there are some children that are very loud. Very, very loud. Before they will tell you everything that is happening in their house. My daddy bought this, my dad. Because if you trace some incidents that have happened, sometimes it's traceable to what the enemy have heard that will make them to. I remember an incident that of two friends that were just talking. My daddy brought also a portfolio, very big portfolio, full of money. He brought it, and then the guys that were following them behind were just interested in their story. You know, as a little child, I was just trying to tell, my daddy has money, this, that. And that was all. And that is how those people followed them until they were able to trace that particular boy that was so talking to their house. And in the night, that is how they invaded the place, not knowing that those people were. But when they came to the house, the money was not actually the father's own. And he has returned it, you know, to the owner. When they came, because they could not find that money that the boy was talking about, and that is how the life of that man was taken. Teach your children to talk rightly. There are some children, they are too loud. They say all kind of things, what happened in the home and all that. Teach them they have to be decent in the way they talk, you know, because life and death are in the power of tongue. So teach them what to say and what not to say. Or there are some children, because we are into schools. You see a child sometimes can just come to your office, and the way the child, so many things the child will be telling you is like you have known everything that is happening in the house. So until you have to contain the child and try to talk to the child. But this training should start from home, that the parents should be able to know that there are things that is not meant for strangers. Because that is where many people come to get some information about you in your house unknowingly to you. So it's very important that the children should be taught how to talk, you know, not be too loud in talking to strangers.
Well, apart from just not being too loud, the truth of it is that there are things you conceal from children. Children are children, and that's why they are children. They are be molded and be guided. It's not everything. You bring large amount to the house. Please keep it away for your children, and by the time you want to keep that money, make sure that your door is locked.
Mm.
And it's not everything you open up to the children. You have to know how to guide, because children doesn't know what to say and how to say it. As long as the person assess the place, they just start talking. But if you keep money away from them, don't allow them to say, like that incident you talk about, those guys were armed robber. And the money they were even talking about is not even up to, but the child was just exaggerating. And that was how that man lost his life. So it's very important. There are things you don't open up. You brought money home, you have large amount of money you want to pay. Please, when you enter the house, no matter your child welcome you, greet them and tell them, please just wait, lock your door, make sure those things they are not they don't have access to it, so that you don't expose yourself, because you are not always there when the children are talking. So, but that's one of the way to guide them.
Okay, I think another thing that parents need to do, teach them to save. From a young age, teach your child how to save money. Even if people give the children money, they should learn to be fragile in their expenditure. So it's very, very important. Service. Sometimes some people believe that boy is a child, but when you start teaching a child early age how to save, that is what will help that child to grow up, that he will not be wasteful. There are some men, you see the way they just once money gets to them, they just keep spending. They don't even have savings. There's something will happen, there's nothing to fall back to. Because why did they just start that day? Is when they were small, they were not taught how to save. They were taught how to eat everything, one day at a time. And the thing comes to be, but when you teach your children how to save, it will help them. There was an incident that happened, in the school, when the parent bought a safe for the child. So anytime they are giving money, so they will be saving money inside that place. I think one of these days is like the child love a particular juice that somebody else used to bring, and he went to the safe and tried to bring something out of that place. So that is how when when he went to go and buy something, and then the person selling the thing now look at the child, look at the amount he brought, then he suspected that something more. There is no parent that will be able to give a child 1,000 to come and rather he want to buy the things himself. And that is what they now brought the issue to me, that this child bringing this social amount, something more. So by the time we investigate, we discover that the child, the save that the father had bought for him, that he was saving money, decided to go and remove 1,000 naira inside so he can come and buy something. And that's what we communicated to the parent. But you see, the parent is actually trying to teach the child how to save. Even though the child tried to go out of his way, but when we find out, we discover that I think the mother was aware of it, that the child should be able to take something anytime he feel like he want to buy something, should be able to take from that place. But what we are saying, that the children should be taught how to save. That child was saving that money in that place, and when that child will grow up, you will discover that thing will help the child to know how to keep something and not to spend everything. There are some women will be having, my husband, once he hold money, in fact the thing will go, there's nothing to fall back to, and when there's a problem or there's issue to settle, there's nothing to fall back to, because the same thing with some women. When you see some women just buying, it's because right from when they were small, they were not taught how to save. They can teach you every other thing, but when it comes to savings, some parents find it very difficult to tell their children how to save. Teach your children how to save. When somebody give you money, it's not just once they give you money, then you go to the shop and go and buy something. When somebody give you money, you want to buy new clothes, you want to buy new shoes. Yes, it's good to look good, but learn to save so that tomorrow it can be safe for you.
Okay, learning to save. If a parent that doesn't know how to save cannot teach a child how to save. So you be a role model. Don't teach your children about money. Teach them what money can do. Because there's something, if you are a man, you don't know how to manage money. Every time you are going to be begging. And there's no future for begging. I remember there's an incident that just happened in our own house just last week. What happened? I started saving money since during the 2 years now, I started saving 1,000 naira every day. Apart from the project that we're involved in, I started saving 1,000 naira every day because I now decided to make adjustment. What led to that? I find out that every December there's always need of a lot of money because all the children at home want to buy it, want to buy it. Every time we're always, and I decided to say, okay, I think it was 2020. I told my wife from 2019, 2020, I said, I want to start saving 1,000 naira every day. And now when I saved that money, that money, I found out that at the end of the year, I was able to get about 400 and something with some other money. Then I called my children, I told them it's good to save. Now, anybody that can save, I will give him 10% of his savings. And we tried it for that 2020, and we saw it was good. And everyone, they came out with their saving strategy. And I was able to give them 10%. Why did I do that? I did it so that I can get their appetite that if you save, it will help you. But to call on story short, I just remember it was 2 weeks ago or last week, then with the children's school fees have been increased and all of the school fees we need to pay, I had to fall back to that savings. And thank God I have saved enough money. I think when we check the savings with everything that was there that I saved, it was with the 2 years, it was almost 1 million naira. So I was able to go ahead, take the money and pay their school fees. And it was like nothing has happened, it was like just a gift to me. But if I wanted to raise that money now, maybe I wouldn't have been able to raise the money. So it's always safe to save. And it's always good that you teach your children money is not for spending. There are people that have erroneous belief about money. Money is not for spending. When you have money, don't just spend money, invest it. Teach your children about, educate them about money, liability and investment. There are some things I also start practicing now. When I'm going out with my children, the money I want to spend, I will give it to them. Why am I teaching them about handling of money? Because I want them to learn. I'll give it to them. They do the spending and account back to me. I started doing it, and every time I said, okay, we are going to want to follow me, buy that, I give you the money. You start spending the money. Why? It's good for you to teach them how to save, how to spend, and why that is spending. And you must teach them to spend wisely. So money, one of the things that will help you, because you see, money education is not learned in school. They are not teaching them. It's just everything that comes is just for spending. They just think that no, it's not. You teach them about earning. You teach them about savings. You teach them about. They learn all these things. Let it start from the home. You have a boy child, a girl child. You are going to market with the child. Allow the child to make the list and help him. Let him go and buy. Be there. Allow him to negotiate. I was at the place yesterday while we went for phone, my daughter's phone. I kept quiet and I allowed her to negotiate all the negotiation. All the transaction took place. I'm there because why? You are a coach as a father. Coach does not play ball, but coach is in the field. He's seeing, and when he finishes, say, no, this is not how you do it. This is not how you do it. These things are responsibility. A man cannot vomit what he has not eaten. As a father, teach your children, teach your daughters, teach your maid children what to do. And when they are old, they will not depart because daddy have taught us what to do.
It's very important that we learn, teach our children how to save, so at least tomorrow it will be safe for them. And then the next thing that a parent need to do, to give, teach them how to give. Start educating your children how to give and share with his or her younger siblings from an early age. Teach them how to make an offering to God, as well as how to pay their tithes. This is very, very important because that is the commandment of God. Thou should not come to him empty-handed to learn to give, and at the same time that paying our tithes. Children should know that once you are giving a 100 naira, as small as 100 naira, then there's a 10% in that place belongs to God. So you start teaching them when they are small, not when they are old. You believe that, okay, when he's working, can be able to do it. If you don't teach a child, if a child did not know that this is what is expected of me to do, even when he gets old, he's working. He find it very difficult to give to God. He find it very difficult to share with people, even with siblings. brothers and sisters, sometimes you see you are at home, those little things as you buy your brother, teach them how to give, how to share within themselves. Because if you don't teach them, sometimes you discover that that is when they grow up, they also find it very difficult even to help themselves. Even when they feel that, okay, they have what it takes to be able to help. Because why? They were not taught at the early stage when they were growing up, especially giving to God. Because when you give to God, you can never go down. Givers never lack. Let your children know that givers never lack. When they give them, so you see some children on Sunday, you give them money to go and get off free. When you come back from church, ask them, what did you do? Because some of them end up to go and buy biscuits. Some will even leave the money in their pocket. If a child that forgets to give up, if you come back, where is your money? Say, I forgot to. It is wrong. Let the child know that it is wrong, so that next time can be able to do it. But most time, parents believe that, oh, it's a child. Child is a child, we know, but that is why you are there as a coach, as a guidance, as an instructor, to be able to instruct the child in the right path that the child should go. I remember when our children were younger that time, once we finish on Sunday, okay, you will come because they have children's class. I know they always have a children's class. Okay, where is the money that was given to you? Did you give it? You say, I want to go and give it. You ask them, let them know. Giving is very, very important. If you don't teach your children how to give, when they grown up, even when they marry, they'll find it very difficult to give to their wife. There are some men now to give money to their wife is a problem. Some women to release what they have to use for the family is a problem. It did not just start when they get married, it starts when they were small, that they find it very difficult on how to give. So it is your duty. Teach them how to give wisely. Not just because, oh, you have, my mother have taught me how to give. Somebody will come, you just give. Even something that is meant for you to do project, to do something, you just can't. No. Teach them how to give wisely. You know, if you don't teach them how to give, and how to give to God, how to give to their siblings, and to people that is around them that they feel they can be able to help, when they grow up with it, they find it very difficult to be able to give. Like when a woman came, you know, I think last 2 weeks for counseling, when she was talking about, my husband find it very difficult to give. And you will be seeing the money in his hand, but he will not give to you. Find it very difficult. And he have to work hard, and sometimes you begin to ask the man, why you find it very difficult to even give money to me, to either to invest in my business or to do something? He will tell you, you have your hand, go and work. I was trained to use my hand to work and make money. So it's because of, you know, what he has been trained with. So let's teach our children to give wisely.
Okay, now talking about giving is, well, givers never lack. Just like you rightly said, wise giving. There are also some foolish giving. You should know why you're giving that money, the reason why you are giving it, of what use is it. There are things you don't give to, but teach them how to give wisely. I want to read a Bible verse here in the book of 2 Timothy, I think chapter 1, verse 5. It says, when I call to remembrance the unfading faith that was in thee, which dwell at first in your grandmother Lois, and they and their mother Eunice, I am persuaded that is in thee also. You see, charity begins at home, not at work. So you find out that if you are parents, you are practicing such a thing, it's very, very easy for your children to learn. Children learn from seeing you practice, and you are saying exactly what you are practicing. So it's very important that a child, now Paul was writing to Timothy and said, I call to remembrance what I know you saw in your grandmother, and also it's in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded. So you find out that character and attitude and manners can be inherited, and it is a practice. You see, like our practice in our family. So you find out that it now becomes very difficult when that child grows up. It becomes very difficult for that child to change, because it's a family practice. It tells you, this is what my dad have been doing. This is what we stand for in this family. So it's very important that we actually teach our children about giving and tithing. And you should also let them know, don't just say, oh, your tenth belongs to God. Teach them the reason for tithing. It does not matter who is doing it wrongly or what any other person is saying. Tithe is a commandment of God. And also tell them go beyond tithing. You go beyond tithing because anything you see that is happening somewhere, people make it happen. Now, there's no amount of tithe that you can give that is enough. You must go beyond tithe. You must be able to see God's project as your project. Now, if you know that what you are doing here, there's a reward from it in a life after life, then you should use this time now to invest in where you are going. So it's very important that children should know. For me, I go beyond tithe. I give 90%, not just 10%. No, because the remaining 10% will be okay as a child of God. So it's very important that we teach our children how to give tithe, how to give offering, how to help people. They should not just hear it. They should see us do it. They should see us practice it. And in so doing, when they are old, they will not depart. So you find out that the foundation of a thing matters. I want to, I don't want to go away. We'll be back, and when we come back, we will continue in this program. Don't go away. God bless you. This is Simon and Samantha on Me and You Christian Relationship Foundation. What a joy to be alive. Well, my wife is here this morning. We'll be talking about impact on our children that lead to, growing up and become a better person in society. It starts from home, what we need to teach our children and what our children need to do. And we must recognize that our children are actually our continuity, like we read Louis and Eunice. Louis and Eunice. I don't know why there's no man there. Is it that the men went to work? Yeah, I see Louis, I see Eunice, I did not see John. And that's to tell you, well, this one also say maybe they are single parents. Went to work. But if to the case the John run away, this is parenting, and you find out that the women do a good job. That's to know that our mothers are very important in our life, and we need to take special care of them. Find out that Louis and Eunice did a good job, and Paul is writing to Timothy. I also know that this thing has been imparted into you, so it's generational. Yeah.
Just as you said before, we went on a break, that we have to live by an example. It's not just enough for you to tell a child, do it.
Do this, do
and
that.
Then you are not doing it. If a child, what you are asking the child to do, if you are not doing it, then the child becomes very inquisitive. Why you are asking me to do this? Right? So the child will want to do what he sees in you, because they learn better by what they see. So if you are asking pay tithe, let the child see you, teach them. Yeah. Let the child see you, have practice a card, and that you practice what you are doing, or they are doing anything, giving to people, giving to less privileged. Let the child sees it. Like when we introduced visiting an orphanage, orphanage home, and then we started carrying these children there to go and stay with them. You need to come and see how the children, they eager for that day. Once you just mention this is the day to go and visit the orphanage home, wow, they want to breathe, they want to participate. So all those things build up in children, knowing that I'm supposed to give. So anytime a child comes and the parent did not give, you could see that sadness in those children, that I ought to have given something, I have to have helped, and then the thing is not there. So let's live by example, and then the thing will also follow our children. And then the last one we'll be looking at, the fear of God. Teach your children to fear God. Morally train them with Bible stories and instill good behavior in them. Very, very important. The Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, the book of Proverbs. So you need to teach your children to fear God. When they fear God, they will not steal, they will not lie, they will be honest, they will be transparent to you. Because if they don't fear God, the consequence of not fearing God. Teach your children, sit down and teach them. Teach them Bible stories. I remember in those when our children were growing up, there's a Bible, this big Bible story that my husband bought. We'll bring it to sit down with them, teach them the story of David. That is when, David killed Goliath. Teach them all those stories. Let them know about stories in the Bible. Teach them when they are young. Don't say, when they go to school, they'll be able to. No. Start when they are at their tender age. So that is when they will begin to love God. That is when they begin to go closer to God. They want to know Him more and more. It is because of lack of fear of God that is making so many people to involve themselves in evil, atrocity today, doing all kinds of things, because why? They lack the fear of God. So teach them while you are sitting down. The book of in the book of Proverbs told us that when they sit down, teach them. When they lie down, say. When you are walking on the street, he said, teach them. He said, I know Abraham, he will command his children. So as parents, how are we commanding our children? What are we instilling into them? What are the moral things that we are putting in our children? Because that is what is making our society today to be where it is. When we don't teach them good moral, and then they involve themselves in evil, in occultic, and so many things, because why? They don't fear God. But when you teach them the fear of God, and how they should obey God, obey the word of God, I tell you, that child will grow up with it. He will not want to do evil. Look at Joseph. The father was not there. The mother was not there. But because of the knowledge that he has, that they have put in him, the fear of God, he said, how will I do this wicked thing? When he was enticed by Pharaoh's wife, he said, how will I do this wicked thing? Against who? Against God first and my master. It was because of the fear of God that he has that made him to run for his life. Even though he was lying upon, but God worked all those things together for his good, just to bring his word to pass. Let's teach our children to fear God, so that when they are out there, when you are not with them, the thing will begin to dawn on them, I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do this. Because why? I fear God. Because I fear God. And they also see it in you that you fear God. Because you have to live by example. If you fear God, the children will see it in you. If you fear God, you will not beat your wife. If you fear God, you will not do things that you are not supposed to do. The children are seeing it. And that's what the children will grow up with. The story Bible, they will learn more about God. And as they grow with it, it begins to keep them, begin to guide them. So at the end, there will be peace in your home. There will be peace in their life. And things will work out fine. So it's very important that we teach our children the fear of God, so that when they fear God, they will not collect what does not belong to them. They will not steal. They will not go into kidnapping. They will not go into killings. All those things will not be there, because why? The fear of God is what actually helps us and give us a direction in life.
Okay, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. When you were talking, you mentioned something about teaching, and that is in the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter number 6, verse 7. It said, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. Now God is depending on us. Nobody will teach your children. Be your number one, teacher. Be your children number one teacher. And direct them, encourage them so that they can trust you. Love them. Our children are a gift from God to us. We should show them kindness, love, draw them close. Let them be able to know that you love them. Even when you discipline them in love. He said, teach them diligently unto thy children. When he said, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So it's a full-time job. You are taking the children to school. Inside the car you are driving, that's walking on the way. Now, they were not driving then. He would have mentioned driving. But as you drive, teach them. As they ask questions, Daddy, what about this? Teach them. Mommy, what about this? Every opportunity you have with your child is an opportunity for you to teach them what they should know. And in so doing, in your old age, you will rest. If you leave your children, somebody else will teach them what you have not taught them. And if they learn from outside, they will have more confidence in the outsider more than the parents in the inside. So it's a parental responsibility, parental role, things we need to do to help our children to be better people, even to us as parents, and to be better citizens of the country where we live, of our world today. There are so many things that are happening. You find out that how do these children get access to this thing? When parents neglect their responsibility, that become irresponsible parenting, and you bring irresponsible children. And irresponsible children are dangerous to the society and to the family at large. I believe that this thing that we have shared with you today, if you take responsibility as a parent to start it today, if you have not been doing it before, start doing it. It will give you rest. And one of the things that I learned from my parents is this. My parents always tell me that once you give birth to a child will also give birth to you. The Bible also said so, that it was talking about Peter, that now you are young, you are doing a lot of things, but time is coming where they will take you by the hand. Now, if you teach your children, when you are old, as an old person, you will not be going to police station to go and bail your children. They will not involve in so many things. There are a lot of parents that have died because their responsibility was left at the time they're supposed to do it, and now the children are now out of control. It's very important that we take care of our children. Well, we call it a day today, and I want you to know that we love you. There are information that my helper will be bringing to be able to share with you about the program that we are doing in the month of November, next month, on the 12th to 13th of next month. Now, it's going to be a very good program. We have been doing this program for the past 15 years. I know that she has some information to tell us. Hello.
Okay, just before the answer, we're about running, so my spirit just take me to Psalm 127 verse 3. Just want to read for you before. He said, "Lo, children are in heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hands of the mighty man, so are your children, so are the children of the youth." So know that children that God has given to you, they are in your heritage, and then you have to be able to handle them well, so that they can bring peace and joy to our life. Okay, so we have a program that is forthcoming in November 12th to 14th, and it's not shall be barren. You've been married for so many years, you don't have children. This program, we've organized this program for the past 15 years. We have been doing this, and so many people have actually benefited from it. When the Bible says "not shall be barren," I think God means exactly what He's saying. That as a woman, your duty is to be able to bring forth, go into the world and multiply. So if you're out there, this program is meant for you. And the date again is on the 12th to on the 14th November. So on the, to November, we have morning session starting at 10 a.m. and evening session 4 p.m. So if you're in Abuja, the venue is Ire Center plus 24 off Veterinary Road, Federal Housing Estate. And then there will be free consultation. There will be free scanning. The doctors will be there. Dr. John Idahosa and others will be there, and it's free consultation. So whether you're in Abuja, you are not in Abuja, you can call me. People have become all over. We do it once in a year. Call me for this program, and I tell you as you come, because you see the program. I think the program is on the screen right now, so you can see it there and read through it, and then you'll be able to get the information. Our phone numbers are there to be able to get contact with us. You are going to see hospital on a way.
Okay.
On a way, and your tears will be wiped away.
Okay. Now, if you're there, you are just watching it on television right now. The program is already on the screen. Watch it and get all the information you need to get. Telephone numbers are there and everything. And I want to encourage you. If you attend this program, I believe that you are going to live with so many things. One, you get information, even though you are not married. Two, you have a clear understanding of how to carry yourself and behave yourself in this life. Three, we are also partnering with PFM Nyanya Karo District. They are also part of this, just to mobilize the people, and we have a good time. Information is the basis of transformation. I believe with the few points we have given to you today, I know we have not confused you, but we have only convinced you. I was looking at my wife, it's a teacher. I convinced you that
when you do this,
yes,
your children will bring peace to you.
Yes.
They will bring glory to God. And then the country and the society at large will get better, and our country will enjoy for the godly seed that will bring forth and trade properly. All
right. Until see you again in our next edition. This is Simon Asamata. I'm Pastor Grace Asamata. I say we love you and your marriage will work. Don't forget this. Family is everybody's business. Bye-bye. God bless you.